which will take us into our next game, and that, folks, is going to be Arya versus KingPi. And in this game, from what I know, I'm going to have to admit KingPi is a heavily favored player. KingPi, a very solid Protoss player. I want to say 1800 plus. And of course, it is PvT, which is usually a very comfortable matchup for Protoss, especially at these levels. So in the bottom left-hand corner, as the orange Protoss, the aforementioned KingPi. And in the bottom right-hand corner, as our purple Terran, we have DM's Arya. I am pretty sure KingPi is better than 1650, at least that is my feel from playing him. But I guess we will see. I've had a couple games against him, and he felt pretty strong to me. Maybe I just had a bad day, I don't know. But I would expect him to be a bit stronger than 1650. But I guess we'll see how these games go against Arya. And we'll see what game plan Mr. Arya is going to bring to the table. Pylon there. So looks like this is going to be some of our initial gateways. Not too hard to notice here. And depot for Arya. Of course, we've seen him go for 14cc. I doubt he's going to go for 14cc here, but you never know. Pylon done. And gateway. Yes. So gateway just going to sit there next to the Nexus, and pretty fast scout for Arya. Very fast scout, in fact. Or barracks at the natural. Okay, so rack CC from Arya here. A very common build for Arya. And so now we have to ask, are we going to get Dragoon aggression here from KingPi? Of course, as a low APM Terran, that can be difficult to deal with. Rack CC, if your multitasking is not quite up to snuff, because you do have to keep repairing that bunker, especially against 2-gate openings with heavy Dragoon numbers. And if that repair's a little bit off and that bunker dies, it's generally GG-ish. It often ends the game, and usually when it doesn't, you're going to take enough damage that it's going to be de facto over. We have SCV Scout in the correct direction here for Arya, so that is good. Rack's coming up. Probe is going to go in the wrong direction. They're not quite going to see each other, so he's going to come on right in here. And we do see a core. And there's the CC going down. KingPi is not going to see it in time to respond to it, though, so he's just going to have to go through with whatever his build game plan is. If it's one gate Dragoon, then the bunker doesn't really feel any threat. Sure, you can attack the bunker and, you know, force a few SCVs to pull, but it's not scary. If you're a newer, maybe a little bit slower Terran, then, you know, facing 2 or 3 gate Dragoon, yeah, that's actually pretty scary. Alright, so in comes the probe here, and then it's going to see it. We got one Marine already out. And hey, TT1, thank you for hosting. And for all of you tuning in, well, this is a CPL season, well, not season, I guess it's going to be season 4, but just some preseason games here. Group number 33, which is there's a lot of groups. There's a lot of players. This probe is not seeing that much. Oh, is he going to get it? Is it going to slide by? Oh, it's going to sneak by a little bit. No aggression coming here, though. Nothing to be worried about. Looks like the probe has been finished off, and the SCV is going to try to escape, but it will not succeed. Shouldn't succeed. Dragoon. Oh, okay, he's going to pause the Dragoon. Dragoons usually get that shot. I'm surprised he didn't micro that to try to get that last shot off. Looks like range is pretty close to being done. Did go ahead and expand off of just one Dragoon upon seeing that rack. So that's pretty normal. We've got our gas up. We've got our first factory coming down. Second factory will be up shortly. And of course, with that scout, he definitely doesn't have to worry about building a super fast eBay or academy. He knows he's just fine here. Whoop. Dragoon walking here into range of this bunker. Of course, range is not done yet. Going to be a while before we have a tank out. Second Dragoon coming out now, positioning the first one here. It's actually a little bit too far away to shoot as of right now. Alright, now range is done. Or, now range is done. Yeah, obviously going to need to walk that Dragoon in a bit closer. Oh, good. Good walk-in. Right away. But, again, easy money repair. Just a couple Dragoons. very easy to forget that and just click repair. It's not like when there start to be 5, 6, 7 Dragoons attacking the bunker, where if you miss one repair cycle, you're just absolutely dead. So Arya doing his thing repairing. We've got a pretty, it's a pretty good size transfer, right? One or two more probes than strictly necessary, but you know, I won't fault that too much. Does make a difference in your economy, though. Always worth it to pay attention to probe transfers. Basically, you should always transfer. Like if you have 9 minerals, you're gonna have 9 workers. Obviously, stay here. Any workers more than 9, but less than 7, go here. If you have like 18 workers though, or something, then you should only transfer 7 over here, because otherwise you're 2 at a patch, you'll waste transfer time for the same mining rate. Now, if you have 3 per patch, then obviously you can transfer a bit more, and Arya needs to be a little bit careful here. That bunker is gradually getting lower on health. Looks like he's going to get a 4th SCV tagged over here, though, before any trouble starts, so that's good. Tank is out. Siege will be done soon. Nice use of the high ground here. As he brings the tank up, we'll be able to shoot at that lower Dragoon, force a repositioning to the top, and this will mostly begin to end the harass here from KingPi. Needs to position that last Dragoon. Siege up, walk back. Is there listening? No. Will he lose the Dragoon? Should not. Actually, this is a slow reaction, but he... Wow, that's very committed. Bit sloppy there from KingPi. An overcommitment to that bunker. And of course, with one gate Dragoon, no options to dive on that bunker or anything of that nature. And we're going to have a pretty quick expansion here from KingPi. He's adding 2 quick gates and then going to go ahead and put down the 3rd Nexus almost immediately, so very macro-oriented play here from KingPi. Very low unit-oriented play, in all honesty, especially with this Reaver coming out. Oof. Not broke either. It's like he just forgot. I don't know what he's paying attention to, but it's like he just completely forgot that he's planning to make a Reaver. Did he want to make Dragoons first in these gateways? I guess so. I don't agree with that decision. Definitely not worth it to build a Robo Bay like that and delay your Reaver by like 45 seconds. Is this thing ever going to start? Please start the Reaver. Just make the Reaver start some... Okay. Okay, lonely shuttle, lonely Robo. 3rd base coming up here for Arya off 2 facts. That's very standard. Arya almost always is like 5 fact or 2 factory. Pretty borderline greedy expand. Doesn't usually like to build a ton of stuff before he expos. And expo about to be done here for KingPi. Transfer is a bit late. Would want to transfer, a few probes from each of these bases over here towards the 3rd. But that transfer is very late now. And still no Reaver? Oh my gosh. Make the Reaver. Please. Alright, Ob's coming in. Seeing just 2 factories, so that's going to kind of relax him. He knows now that nothing crazy is coming his way. The only other weird thing I can think of is he took the Nexus fast, and he was just going to build Reavers if there was like a 5 fact coming in and try to use Reaver to defend. But... Alright, finally starts Reaver. Good solid minute and a half slow though, so I don't know how effective it'll be. As long as Arya is not totally careless with his tank positioning or asleep at the wheel, it shouldn't really do a whole lot of damage. That +1 getting started nice and promptly. Finally getting an SCV transfer over here. But we can see the CC floating out here. So Arya's command center timing is going to be only a little bit different than KingPi's. KingPi definitely should have had some probes over at this Nexus quite a bit earlier. He is double gas mining, so I think we're going to see some more tech coming out of him here soon. We can see the Citadel is already down. First Reaver is out. In fact, just one Reaver and a Dragoon to go harass is certainly a viable option. And we have 3 tanks over here defending, along with a lot of mines, but it's a pretty open gate. Now, he can go ahead and add a few more depots, I think, and complete this wall off from this position, and likely will. So he's going to add a 2nd depot there and start to tighten this bad boy down. Shuttle flying over here in range of the turret, though. Going to go in for some harass on the 3rd. Dragoon being dropped, Reaver being dropped. Uh-oh, he's eating the shuttle. Okay, very sloppy there from KingPi. Will get a tank out of it, but is going to lose. Oh, my God. Oh, never mind. Oh, I don't think Arya was paying attention to that, though, so that could have been 7 SCVs. That could have been 7 SCVs. Okay, so we have the Stargate and the Archives as expected. And I think it goes without saying that Reaver was not worth it. Like, 2 tank kills is cool, but 2 tank kills for a Dragoon, a Shuttle, and a Reaver? No. No. Definitely not worth it. 4th base? Hidden 4th? No. Regular 4th. Alright, cool. And quite an army, though, out for KingPi already. Oh my gosh, these Vultures! KingPi does notice them, but Vulture's heading up here. He's going to try to wall this off to keep this probe alive for a little while. He might. I don't think he can finish in time, though. It's going to be so close, but no! He can't wall it. Oh, he does. Wow, good job, KingPi. Just gets that, and even saves the probe, so he can come back and add cannons or whatever, cancel these pylons. If he doesn't want to add 5 pylons right now and actually have this walled, he'll probably cancel that top pylon. Maybe not. Alright, just going to commit to the pylons. No big deal. Maybe some Arbiter tech. We do have 7 gateways here. And Arya is being weirdly aggressive here. Okay, maybe he just wants some space, which is fine. A bit sloppy there from KingPi to lose 2 of those Dragoons. And whoa, how much space does Arya want? Although KingPi is being a little bit careless. Oh, KingPi has been very careless. And this is a blunder by KingPi. Oh, this is a huge blunder. A blunder of epic proportions. My gosh, taking tons of damage on these Dragoons. And not good at all. And now, again, Arya, despite doing these cheeky little pushes that really aren't good for him and should not work, this one definitely has a chance to do some damage here. Now, KingPi is scuttling up here with a few Zealots, but look at the army composition. It's not that in favor of KingPi, but still, this is a very bold push here from Arya. It's very early. He does not have 2-1, and his tank count is not that high. Vulture's getting very out in front, although Zealot leg speed, oh, it's going to be hard to even click on the damn Citadel to know how close it is to being done, or if it's even being researched here. Tanks are moving in, trying to go on top of the Dragoons, but that is quite a tank line. But those Zealots might be just enough to tank here, and the Dragoon spread is pretty decent. So yeah, Arya is getting punished for this. I warned about this last game that this was really stupid to do, and then there was a massive mistake from his opponent Dazed. But in this case, KingPi a little bit more solid, and even without the leg speed and having his army together, I mean, he suicided 6 Dragoons, did not have leg speed, did not have a particularly coordinated attack, had to come through some guarded tanks, and still just ate that army for breakfast. I mean, I genuinely have no idea why Arya has tried this now twice in a row. Like, you just don't... unless you scan and, like, Protoss has 2 gateways or Protoss does something retarded, you don't just push before 2-1 with 7 tanks when you did 2 factory expo. I got nothing. I got nothing for Arya. I'm in critical mode on that one. He knows better. I don't know why he's doing it. Alright, so we're getting stasis, we're getting an Arbiter out. Do we have one out yet? No. They're still slow. Little waddly dudes. Can I please? Okay. Finally starts this. Did not have it started for this battle, so that was probably a little bit of a heart attack for him. Alright, so money's starting to get a little bit away from Arya. No surprise here because he was only on 6 fags for way too long. Now he's going up to 9. That'll help him get his spending a little more under control. Has not added control tower, has not added a vessel. Again, APM from Arya, not stupidly high, so he will sometimes lag behind on those things, but he always hits the most important things. He does a pretty decent job with SCVs. He's reasonably tight with his build order. I mean, yeah, a little late to add factories, but he was kind of pushing. And he does enough right things to be solid. It's just, if he had, say 50 to 70 more useful APM, he would go from, 1,700 to probably 2K. Although, this game has been a little bit weird. It's uncharacteristic for Arya. And that's kind of why I'm being a little bit critical, because normally his decision-making is sort of the strength of his game. So to see it that off is a bit odd. Alright, so this Zealot's going to come over here and be cleaned out here by these Vultures. And KingPi, we can see the Arbiters out, but Arya has been macroing pretty hard and is more or less up on supply here with KingPi, so that's not good as Protoss has not started mining the 3rd gas yet. Now, I don't know if there's a recall. Arbiters should not have a ton of energy, though. Yeah, where's the Arbiter? What do we got? 70? Yeah, they have very little energy so far. Not even a single stasis, and this is more weirdness. At least he has 2-1 this time, or 2-0. Should be very, very close to 2-1, right? Close-ish. KingPi, what are you doing? Oh, this is going to get weird. This is going to get really weird. KingPi is not coordinated, and A control group tries to go the wrong way, so he's going to swing around here to this base. Now, this is going to force Arya to defend, but I think KingPi is going to get enough of his army on the high ground here that he'll be able to trade reasonably efficiently, especially if Arya messes this up and he can hit a stasis on the majority of these tanks. In fact, I don't know what Arya is doing here. I think he's going to lose this battle. There's enough to stasis. He could even hit the ramp with all these tanks up here. The command center dies, and this trade is going great from KingPi. It's like Arya kind of checked out here. No sieging, no scans. Everything is now dying here to the cloaked units, and another big loss from Arya. Still maintaining the supply lead, which is a bit surprising, but and I guess that's more than anything. KingPi is struggling a bit with his macro at the moment. Does have quite a few gateways and is adding a few more at this base, so he should be fine. His army's in a bit of an awkward position, but Arya doesn't feel comfortable to push for obvious reasons. It was a very bizarre fight. Definitely went in KingPi's favor. Anytime you largely reset the tank count as Protoss, you can be pretty happy with how the engagement went. But, yeah. Still an Arbiter. Still a Stasis. Recall? Alright, Recall just starts. Do we get Arbiter Energy? Do we have 250? No. Okay, so, yeah, it just took a while. Researching Recall. Protoss should be 2-0? 1-0? Do we have a second upgrade happening? No. A lot of idle probes, some idle probes, no upgrades. Attack upgrades as Protoss are especially worth it. The other upgrades are nice to have as the game goes on, but the attack upgrade is very valuable, particularly for the strength of those zealots. And now Arya at max supply. Very typical Arya army. Again, 100 APM. This is going to happen. Again, for 100 APM, his pushing is actually pretty majestic, but it's hard to have beautiful pushes when you're rocking 95 APM. It's just not quite enough to do all the things you need to with Terran. Uh-oh, we've got a control group or so left behind here, so that could get a bit dicey. And Arya now moving forward. KingPi just kind of waiting with his army. He does have a few Templar in there. Of course, Templar gets significantly better in a shuttle, but I'm happy to see Templar really nice to incorporate. This is sloppy from Arya so far, though. Moving forward with a lot of vultures. Absolutely zero mines, but KingPi in a very clumped position. And it is a pretty big army here from Arya, but we have some very late sieging. And think of the stasis that could be hit, and those are the stasis you want to hit. And a lot of zealots trickling in. Again, had this been a little more coordinated for KingPi, it would be going great. It's still going pretty damn great because Arya kind of walked into it. And it looks like even with all that, everything here for Arya just getting obliterated. And yeah, KingPi is going to be in a beautiful spot after that. Arya is stuck without a fourth base. KingPi can comfortably camp the stasis. Reinforcements seem to be a little bit lacking here. He didn't macro during that fight. A bit of a mistake. Pretty common one for Protoss to make, though, because you max out, so you can't start anything in your gateways. And then it means usually looking away from the battle at a tricky point. So no quick reinforcements here for KingPi. Camping those stasis is pretty nicely. Oh, the tanks are on move command, so they won't even kill anything. And yeah, cleans up what remains here. And now a very rough position for Arya as mined out here, only mining now from this base. Whoop, that's not what I wanted to do. Only mining now from one base, and with just 150 supply, he's not going to be able to get another max army. I think his only solution at this point is to try and camp and really defend recall hardcore. And yeah, a bit of an invisibility issue too. That's a good point. There were no science vessels there. It took him a long time to produce a science vessel and get EMP. Now, he's got nice 3-3 timing. I mean, could be 15, 16 minutes, but that's not altogether terrible, especially against the 1-0 Protoss army that is not using the double forge. Okay, he does have at least a command center built and floating over here, so that's good news for Arya. It's going to allow him to at least have some income and get back into the game that way. But if we look at the position, it's a nightmare position for Arya. KingPi's got 5 bases, comfortably mining from, it looks like all of them. 2 will start to mine out eventually, but comfortably mining from 5 bases, and even worse, has a good solid 9 gateways in one, and what is that, like 13 or so, 14 perhaps in his main. Has his full tech up. It's just a difficult position to play from as Arya, especially having already lost 2 full armies. Do we have a recall? We have a recall attempt down here, and it goes off beautifully, and army very out of position. Slightly sluggish response. We're trying to repair the command center. Is it going to be enough? Doubtful. So it looks like that's going to reduce him to 1 base mining, and that is going to be just horribly devastating. Losing most of the SCVs. Is there any chance he can repair this command center? No. Down falls the command center, and oh my god, there haven't been tanks going over here. These Dragoons could fight so well from this ramp here, and that is assuming even that scans are put down. If he runs out of scans or stops scanning and doesn't bring a vessel, the damage that can be done by this army, the efficiency of this trade with absolutely 0 tanks in this fight, I don't think Arya has any idea how bad this is going. KingPi, though, wasn't looking at the ramp. He could have camped the ramp a little bit more effective, but not only has tremendous damage been done, but this trade is just solid for KingPi, to the point that Arya just GG's, and KingPi takes a solid game there, and Arya falls to what, 1 and 3 in his group, or 1 and 2. No, 1 and 3 for Arya. Arya wins versus Aggie. No, loses versus Aggie, wins versus Dazed, and then takes losses to Holiday and KingPi.